Hey guys, it's Jonathan here from PlayGuitar.com. As you can see, I just got myself a new whiteboard. So this is me being pro. And as you can see, I've been looking for a reason to use it, so today's the day, I guess. What are we talking about today? We're talking about hints and tips for how you can choose a secondhand guitar. Secondhand guitars are great deals, by and large. Why pay new when you can buy secondhand, right? The only benefits of buying new is if you're really picky, or if maybe there's warranty or stuff like that. Those are always cool things. Warranty is always cool to have, right? But if you want to save some coin, and sometimes you can really upgrade the quality of guitar that you're able to afford by going secondhand. I've personally bought a few guitars secondhand, and I love every one of them. So it's up to you, I guess, but here's some tips for what to look for. And these would be applicable as well, by the way, if you're looking for a brand new guitar. First thing, ooh yeah. Ain't that fancy. Alright, do your research. Don't just walk into some, don't just go to Craigslist, see, oh, guitar for sale. Okay, I'll take that one. I mean, I know you're not that dumb, but, not that you're dumb, by the way. Do your research, look around, figure out what you want. Do you want an electric guitar? Do you want an acoustic guitar? Do you want, what style of electric or acoustic? Do you want, nylon strings? You got to really think about what kind of guitar you want. That's very important. And one tip maybe that will help you doing that is, what kind of music do you like listening to? Do you listen to a lot of rock? Don't buy an acoustic. Do you listen to, a lot of kind of folksy type stuff? Don't buy an electric, right? Do you want to be jamming around a campfire kind of thing? Don't buy a nylon string guitar. Get an acoustic with, steel strings. So just kind of consider how you're going to be using it, what kind of music you like listening to, because chances are that's where your playing interests are going to lean as well, and look in that direction. And even if you're buying secondhand, go to a music store and just spend an hour and play around on a lot of different guitars, and start to get a feel for what the different tones sound like, and how different things work, especially with electrics. There's so many different styles, really, and well, acoustics too, really. With an acoustic, you got to consider: do you want to cut away? Do you not want to cut away? The cutaway is that part that kind of loops in, right? Are you going to be playing up high, or does it not matter? Anyways, so first of all, figure out what you want. Then when you're looking for a used guitar, if you go to like Craigslist or whatever else, or pawn shops or whatever, find out the one you're looking for, get the make, model, year, and the origin. Oftentimes, guitars are made all over the world, right? And oftentimes where they're made is an indication as to the quality of the guitar. North American made or US made guitars are typically very high on the quality chain, and then other areas are lower. And kind of as a really rough rule of thumb there. But once you got that information, punch it into the internet and see what people are saying about it, because you'll find somebody on some forum somewhere talking about that guitar and how awesome it is or how terrible it is, and that'll give you an idea, an indication as to whether or not it's worth it, right? So that gives you a good comparison. Make sure I use my markers here. Can't forget that. All right, neck. The neck is extremely important. You want to, this is of course the neck of the guitar, and this is my beloved Hagstrom Super Swede. The neck. Now you want to make sure, first off, that there's no cracks. Also, like factory, when they've tossed them out of the factory, they kind of crack them on the neck here with a hammer and ding them. If you find someone trying to pass off one of those as secondhand or whatever, don't get it, because unless you're an amazingly exceptional guitar mechanic, you're not going to be able to fix it. It's just been screwed up and someone's trying to rip you off. You want to look for any cracks that are here, depending on the construction of the guitar. That might be neck through body, which means it's all single piece, or if it's a bolt-on, then you know, there will be a line there where it joins, but there shouldn't be any cracks, especially with acoustics. Also, like if you can see sometimes if the enamel is cracked and things like that. The neck should feel good. What else can I say about the neck? Make sure that the frets, you want to check, see how worn the frets are. All you can do is, for doing that, is just pull the strings aside and just see, you know, are there little grooves on the frets? Are they worn down? Have a look down the neck kind of that way, you know, to demonstrate. Look at it like that. You shouldn't see any major kind of bowing or warping in the neck. It should be pretty straight. It can, of course, be fixed a little bit, but you don't want to buy something that's just a total basket case, right? What else do we got? Hardware. Okay, just have a look. If you see rust on the hardware, that's not good, because that means it hasn't been stored properly. It's been probably stored in a damp environment, and not only is it rusting, but the dampness would affect the entire guitar. Not a good thing. So no rust. Make sure about that. Make sure that the tuning heads are tight, that there's not a lot of play in them. Like if you just jiggle them back and forth, does the tuning head actually bump back and forth before it actually grabs and starts turning the peg? What else can you check? Hardware. Yeah, you want to make sure that the electronics are good too, so plug her in, you know, strum a chord, and then, you know, try all the switches. You might hear some crackles and pops and stuff like that. Minor ones are okay. They probably just need some air, like a good shot of compressed air to clean them out. But anything major, you know, play it around a little bit and just see if anything pops up. You never know, right? What else do we got? Tone, important. Make sure you buy a guitar that you're happy with the tone. Nothing's more inspiring than playing a guitar that just makes you go, ah, that sounds great. So don't buy one that sounds like crap. But checking tone and intonation is very important. If your guitar is out of tune, it's hard to play. In fact, it's terrible to play. And if the intonation is out, then even if you tune the guitar, it will be out of tune, if that makes sense. It does, because basically when a guitar is properly intonated, that means that every note on the entire guitar is properly in tune. So a very quick way you can test this is to grab yourself a tuner, tune the guitar in the open position, and then at the 12th fret, just run it through the tuner again, you know, on each string, and see, is it still in tune or is it out now? Because you know, you established that it was in tune in the open position. So check it at the 12th fret, and then check it at like the 7th fret as well, and just see. Don't worry about the letter name of the notes that come up. Of course, be different than here, but make sure that it's coming up in tune, right? If it is slightly out of intonation, then a guitar mechanic can fix that for you, but that's something you need to be aware of. What else we got? Playability. Make sure you enjoy playing this thing. You know, spend some time on it. Anybody who's selling the guitar to you should be more than willing to let you, have a go with it. You want to check again. Have a look down there and see how far the strings are off the frets. If there's a huge difference in there, then it's going to be hard for you to press down the strings. It's going to take more strength, right? If there's not a very big gap, then that's what we would call having good action. Be faster to play, easier to play, stuff like that. However, if it's not set up properly, then you're going to get string buzz from that as well. So something to check. Try playing chords all up and down the neck. Listen for any buzzing sounds, right? That can indicate either a warped neck, or they can adjust that too with the truss rod. And then pretty factor. Make sure you get a guitar that's pretty. You got to have that, because if you ever end up playing somewhere and you've got this fluorescent pink flying V thing, maybe that's your thing. I don't know. It's not mine, but you want to have something that you're happy playing with and happy having other people see you playing. So get yourself something that's pretty, that plays well, sounds great, all those things. And then of course, don't forget, if you're buying secondhand, haggle on the price. That's the best thing, right? Cut them down as low as they'll go, and then yeah, go for it. But don't rush into it. And if you have a friend who's experienced it, who's an experienced player, then pull them along and get them to play the guitar, see what they think about it, and it'll just give you some moral support there, and get a second opinion. It's always useful, right? Because the seller isn't always a qualified second opinion. So I hope that was useful for you. I'm right down here, GuitarTipsWeekly.com. You'll find me there every week, and we'll see you around next time.